This video could save you £129,000. Here's how. So Credit Karma UK did some research into the monetary value of a good credit score, and they quantified this at £129,000. This is the amount of interest that you will save over a lifetime of having a really good credit score compared with having a poor credit score. So this is all based off borrowing money for a house, for a car, for a phone contract. So therefore, in this video, we'll go over everything related to credit scores. What are they? What are they used for? Why they are so important? And finally, what you can actually do to improve your credit score and save that £129,000. But quickly, I just want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Credit Karma, but more on that later. And don't forget that I am not a financial advisor, I'm just a random dude on the internet. So please do your own research. And now, let's get into the video. So let's start with the basics, because according to a recent survey by YouGov, 69% of British adults don't know their current credit scores or what they mean for them. So what is a credit score? A credit score is a number that determines how trustworthy you are to lend money to. So the higher the score, the more likely a lender will lend you money. So whether that is a credit card, a mortgage, or a car lease, the higher your credit score is, the more likely you'll be accepted and the cheaper it will be for you when you actually do. And the reason for this is you can get a better interest rate if your credit score is higher, and therefore saving you money. So hello, that £129,000. Come to Papa. So how is this credit score calculated? Well, a credit score is basically your financial CV, and it's based on your credit history. Specifically, it looks at these key factors. First of all, it's payment history, your history of making regular on-time payments. Then also we have credit utilization, which is how much of a percentage of your credit you're actually using. So for example, if you get given £1,000 worth of credit and you use £100 of it, that's 10% of your credit utilization. And the next key factor is the length of your credit. So that is how long you have been a borrower, and not from the film.
Now it's time to see the world through the eyes of the borrowers.
You know what I mean. These are all then collated and magically created into a credit score. And for Credit Karma, this score is between 0 and 710. As I said earlier, the higher score, the better. So if you're closer to 710, that is better than being closer to 0. And as you can see from my breakdown, you can see that my score is 600 out of 710. So it's good, but there is still some work to do. But I'll get there. So why is this credit score so important? Well, here are 4 reasons why. So the first thing and the main thing and the reason why I made this video is that it can actually save you a lot of money. So I first learned all about this from the author Ramit Sethi, who writes, "I will teach you to be rich." He calls these big wins. So for example, a big win is if you can improve your credit score and then get a better rate on your mortgage. It can potentially save you £129,000, which is significant savings on interest rates. So you'll likely see the bulk of this when you are applying for a mortgage and you can get a better rate. So over 20-30 years of a mortgage, that is where you make the real saving. And of course, a mortgage is likely to be the most amount of money that you will borrow in your lifetime. So look after your future self and make sure your credit score is tip-top shape. So the next reason why a credit score is so important is that you'll actually be able to see if you are likely to be accepted for credit. So your credit score is a good representation. It's not perfect, but it's a good representation of what you can actually apply for and get. So whether that is a mortgage, a loan, or a phone contract, the higher the score, the better for you. And the better chances you have of actually being approved, and the more money you will save. And next up, a better score will allow you to have access to better credit cards. Some of these rewards that credit cards have are mad. You have air miles, you have cashback, all of this stuff. So it can be really useful, but please remember that credit cards need to be used with caution. You need to pay them off every single month in full, not just the minimum. And finally, your credit score is really important because it allows you to track your progress. So you can see from week to week, month to month, how you're doing and if you're getting closer to your financial goals. So it's all well and good saying this, but how do you actually improve your credit score? Well, thanks to Credit Karma, the sponsor of this video, they make it very easy to identify what you need to do to improve your credit score. And that's exactly what we're going to go through now. So just sit and wait, sit and listen, and you'll hear it all. So Credit Karma gives me a score and a credit report, along with lots of helpful tips that will allow me to improve my credit score and get it up to that 710 that we want it to be. And we're going to have a quick look at these 6 main areas, and hopefully you can use some of this knowledge and information to improve your credit score, as I will be doing as well. So firstly, let's talk about credit limit. So this might sound a little bit counterintuitive. It did for me when I first heard about it, but here goes. Having a higher credit limit allows you to increase your credit score. So let me explain. So when you first apply for a credit card or an overdraft, you might get given a small limit between maybe, let's say, £100 all the way up to £1,000, which is understandably small because the lender has no idea what you're like, if you're going to pay this back, so they have to be cautious with how much they're going to offer you and how much they're going to lend you. But after a while, the bank or the lender may offer you a higher credit limit. That's because you've been paying every single month for the last few years, and that's a good thing. And that means there's a little bit of trust, and they trust you to pay back whatever extra they give you. So for me personally, I now have a credit limit of 4,450, which is a fair bit, not loads, but a fair bit. And I started off at around 500 quid with an overdraft or credit card, whatever. Can't really remember now, it's a while ago, I'm getting old. I thought this was a decent amount, 4,450, but Credit Karma tells me that if I can increase it to 15,000, then I'll get a boost on my credit score. So that's what I need to do. I'll be right back. Next up is payment history. So lenders want to see that you can actually pay back the money that they lend you and on time. And if they can see a positive history of this happening, they can see that you pay it back every single month in a timely manner, then that is good for you. That will help increase your credit score. So please do your best to pay your bills on time. And if it helps, set up a direct debit and make sure it's automatic, out of sight, out of mind, and it does it all for you and you don't really have to think about it, and you're well on your way to improving your credit score. Next up, we have credit utilization, which is how much of your available credit you actually use. So it's actually advisable to use some of your credit in order to increase your score. So you might think that it's actually okay to leave it at 0 and you don't actually use a credit card, you just have one with an available limit, and that's good for you. But lenders actually do like to see that you regularly use it and then pay it back. That basically gives them more information to have on you, and therefore they can have a bigger picture to see if you're actually available and ready to pay it back. Obviously, don't use all of it. Don't go maxing out your credit cards at Gucci or Gucci gang, Ralph Lauren, or wherever you want to go, wherever you find your style. But what Credit Karma says is if you can keep your credit utilization under 30%, then that is the optimal level for improving your credit score. But obviously make sure you can keep it manageable and pay it off every month. Be safe out there, kids. You know what to do. And next up is a fairly easy one. Make sure you are on your electoral roll for your current address. So if you've moved recently over the pandemic, make sure that you are on the electoral roll for where you live, because that helps your credit score and shows that you're a real person and good citizen. So I did actually move, and it's currently not saying that I'm on the electoral roll, so I need to check that, and that'll be my job as soon as I finish this. Remember, if you don't do this, it will have an inverse effect on your credit score, so make sure you do. Like I will very shortly. And penultimately, we have new accounts. Opening new accounts and applying for credit cards and stuff like that will have an impact on your credit score, as lenders believe that it may affect your ability to pay stuff back because of your new commitments to this new credit card or new bank account, etc, etc. So if you do need to open a new bank account or apply for a new credit card, make sure you do it with at least 6 months in the back burner, so you haven't applied for one in the last 6 months, because that will affect your credit score. And finally, the age of credit. The longer you've had credit available to you, the better it is, because this means that you're more reliable and they have a longer history of proof that you've actually paid stuff back. So it's all good in the hood if you've got a long history. The longer you have credit, the better for you. It's exactly the same as your no claims bonus on your car. So the longer you don't claim on your insurance, the better it is for you, the cheaper it is. So it's almost exactly the same with the credit age. The longer history you have, the better your score, and therefore the cheaper you can borrow money. So win, 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 tick, tick, tick. All good in the hood. And there we are. I hope this helps, and if you have got some value out of it, please do let me know in the comment. And once again, I want to give a big shout out to Credit Karma for sponsoring this video. They are looking to help out people with their credit scores, so I think it's an honourable thing, and it will save a lot of people a lot of money. So that's something I can definitely get on board with, and again, thank you. And that's it from me. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm trying to help you become one. So peace. Mic drop again. That just so happens to be in Great Bishop. But quickly, I want. Give them a big thank you for sponsoring this